this is the slave owners list right here. So this the slave masters. All of the slave masters have a B and an M, and the M is for mulatto. And if anything with mulatto on it, you know, that's gonna have Indian in it. That's why in 1900, 1900, the census wanted to take down mulatto, and that's the first time it was replaced with Negro. So Negro will overrule that. Same here, all B's. Now we going through Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Indian Territory, all B's. And the number of slaves, if you look, all ones on there. Ones. These records going all the way from 1810, coming all the way up into 1860, up into the 1860s.
Right for a so-called emancipation.
Yeah, emancipation.
So 5 years after.
So we should be able to see, but all of the look right here, we're in Virginia. All of them say M, Indian, mulatto, Indian. So right here we have an example. You got Fred Kober, my bad. He out of Alabama. He a slave owner. He got 3 slaves. 3 slaves live in his house. A male, 30 years old. A female, 14 years old. And a male, 10 years old. This is going to be his family. He is filing head of household. He's head of household. So right now it's tax season. And people are filing their kids, using them as dependents, right? They're filing as head of household. They ask you.
That's
it's the
crazy.
same system. Yeah, so when we look into slavery and what really took place, we would see that these people, that's why they say you got the slave master last name. Yeah, you named after your father. That's why the plantation is named after y'all, because y'all were land owners. You know, so yeah,
you cracking heads.
Yeah, that's. I wanted to look, man. We can go out.
So it's like you a war. It's like you. So hey, man, you cracking heads. I mean, I got a question, man. You cracking fucking heads. You giving me some shit now. So okay, like that, like when you file it, say like your kids is like wars. So they got a label as wars. It's an all cap, right? So by back then it was like. You a debt slave. It's more like a debt slave. You know what I'm saying? Versus like an actual
in certain cases. So say you took out a contract to work with somebody or to till land, and you know you may took a loan or something like that. It was different systems like that, but at that time we were the most wealthiest people in America. This reset didn't come into the end of the 1800s, and in 1907, the richest man in America died, and he looked just like us, Colonel John McKee. So yeah, we've been super rich here, but with the slavery part, it's not even a form of. It's just the way that they structured the law back then, and they just use a different language today, but it applies to the same effect. That's why the slave owner would just today be head of household. So if you file taxes this year, they ask you, are you head of household? You feel me? Yeah, and so back then, if you was to fill in the same application as today, do your taxes day on that form, back then you would be labeled as a slave owner.
Slave master, man.
You have dependents under you.
That's right.
And
that's
it's just
fucking crazy.
That's why we don't hear no stories about if you see somebody getting strung up on the tree or something like that, that was mostly for land. That was intentional. You know what I'm saying? And that's because we lost a lot of land here. We lost millions of acres here. Through Indian treaties, breaking them down through the treaties, what they call U.S. expansion. We lost a lot of land here from 1861. They write the story. Now, the Proclamation Act didn't come until 1863. So what are we doing owning millions of acres of land in 1861? If the land grab started 1861, which we can go back to the late 1800s, and they're gonna get the Carolinas and things like this here, but Georgia, they didn't get Georgia to 1907, which was one of the hardest places to get because they had a strong resistance there to Tecumseh and what they call what Chief Pontiac started, what they in history they'll call the Pan-Indian allegiance, while these different confederations of the nations came together, chieftains came together and fought together in the South. And Georgia and Florida be their stronghold. But yeah, so what we see out of there for is the land being taken 1807. These 1817, you get Alabama, you know, they down in Mississippi. Mississippi was really one of the last strongholds. Texas is known for revolt. It's just they didn't want to come to Texas. The way that they got in Texas was through the Seminoles. When the Seminoles left Florida and they came to Oklahoma, they ended up finding a home in Nacimiento, Texas, on the border of Mexico, what they call Mexico today. And in 1870, the U.S. came to them after the Civil War and asked them to help them with the problem that they were having with the Plains Indians. And one of the things was, since we were the map makers, we were the map makers, we were the cooks, we built the bridges, we laid we did the hunting, we did the scouting, we did the interpreting. So we can speak all of these different indigenous languages. This is what made us so valuable. So, and we knew the land, we was from the land. They was drinking water out of cactus. It don't matter how far up the mountain you try to run, they gonna track you. Footprints, they know how long your horse been there. Just if your horse and took a shit, they know how long it been there. They going this way. And yeah, they had a reputation on getting their man. But they fought for 25 years with the people called the Plain Indians. Later, after 1924, being brought into the U.S. system, and in the 60s through a political turn named today Native American, we fought with those people and put them on reservation. Every tribe, so we talk about reservations, but we don't talk about how they got there. You hear me? How did they get on a reservation? Because that ain't no ideal place. You know, they can't go out there.
The worst place in the world. Damn, man.
They can't even remodel their house because they don't own the property.